Hello, I'm going to show you two new features in the Augustus Loop algorithm in the disting EX firmware 1.13. The first is a filter. The VST version of Augustus Loop has always had a filter in the delay loop, which the disting EX version didn't, so now it does. So three controls for that: filter type, filter frequency, and filter Q or resonance. So let's give it a sound. So that's through, i.e. no filter. So the options for that go from through to low pass, through to band pass, through to high pass, and then back to through. So basically you can smoothly choose the filter response through the three standard shapes. If you land exactly on the multiple of 100, then you get the exact response. So that's a low pass response. Then you can change the frequency. And you can change the resonance. Obviously having a very resonant filter in the feedback loop can get quite extreme quite quickly. So just to let's do this a little bit more subtly. Let's have a slightly more sparse sound. Just playing samples from the disting Mark IV here. Okay, so that's our delay with no filter. So that's through. Let's put that on a low pass. Sweep it down. Like so. And then we'll try a, what am I looking for? Band pass. More resonant one. Obviously you could put a LFO in through an input here and map that to a CV and have a nice LFO filter if you wish. And then the last one, switch it up to high pass. Let's make that less resonant. Let's go back to our drum loop while we're here. What are we doing? And just so we can hear it much more easily, we'll turn the dry sound off. So that's just a delay now. So there you go, that's all jolly good fun. Turn the filter back to off. Turn that off for a minute. So the second feature that's added in 1.13 is the effects loop. Just reset that back to 0. Now again, this is something that the VST plugin had. It basically lets you insert other modules inside the delay's feedback loop. So normally these two outputs are the mix of delay and dry signal, and these are just the delay output. So if you enable the effect loop, which is this parameter here, 39, these two are the the send of the effects loop. So this is where you take a signal from the module and plug it into something else. I'm going to use this Kamenique phaser, and then you can bring the output of this back into the module, and then that is inserted inside the feedback loop. There's two options for it. There's pre-filter and post-filter. That just affects whether the signal goes into the other module and then into the filter that we just demoed and then into the feedback, or whether it is processed by the filter first and then out through the module and back in. And the other setting that affects this is the effects loop input parameter. So that's input 6 at the moment. Let's have our drum loop going again. Slow it down a bit. And we'll activate the effect loop. Now, what that's done there is just killed the delay, of course, because we haven't completed the loop. So now our input 6 says effects loop in. So you can have the effect loop be mono or stereo. So at the moment it's mono, so do stereo in a minute. So basically if I just plug that back into 6, then that's doing nothing. That's just completing the effect loop, but not doing anything. So if we put it through this module, then now I've got a phaser inside the feedback loop. This is obviously different to just having the delay and then running it through a phaser, because every time it circulates around the delay loop, it's getting more and more phasing on it. So there's all kinds of creative possibilities for this, but this is one in particular. It can get quite extreme if you put up the resonance, which is all great fun. Try a different flavour of phase. There we go. So, yeah, that's the effect loop. Also consider that you might put, say, VCAs inside this loop, and then you'd have control over the feedback by changing your VCAs. You can even muck about with the stereo, because you can have a stereo return. You can then have changes to the stereo under CV control. So let's just demo that. So the input at the moment is set to input 6. Let's free up input 5, which at the moment is set to the pitch CV. So we'll just find pitch CV and turn that off. And then we'll go back to our effects loop input and change that to inputs 5, 6. So now 5 and 6 are a stereo return through the effects loop. So if I complete that, then I've only got delay in the left channel, delay in the right channel. So an easy one would be to arrange a ping pong kind of effect. Obviously this is completely mono signal at the moment, so it's going to be hard to demo, but if I take my left send and put it into the right return, and then my right send and put it into my left return, then I've swapped the stereo in the delay. So in fact I can demo that. Let's just, at the moment I've got the mono input parameter enabled, because I've only got a single input here from the disting. If I turn that off, then my dry signal is all in the left, and then the delay send is there. So if I just completed that to that, then it's all still in the left. But if I want to muck about with the stereo, I can plug the left into the right, like so, and I can plug the right into the left. And now I've got a kind of ping-pongy thing going. Or something we could also try is we could put there's two outputs here on the Kamenique, so we could have 6-pole phasing on the right channel and 4-pole phasing on the left channel, which has given us some interesting kind of stereo difference, pseudo stereo effect going on. is rather nice. So anyway, that's the new effects loop option in firmware 1.13. Turn it off. Turn it on. Yep, effects loop.